Have you ever looked at a map of Africa and wondered why its borders appear as if they were drawn with a ruler? Take a look at the map of Europe or other countries around the world. Their borders have one thing in common: uniqueness, often reflecting centuries of shifting alliances, cultural interactions, and geographical considerations. If we take a look at a country in Africa, specifically Namibia, this country covers a straight border distance of around 1435 kilometers, or around 892 miles. Namibia is certainly not the only country in Africa that has straight borders. In fact, Botswana, Eritrea, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Egypt, Libya, and many more also have straight borders somewhere in their countries. But the question remains, why is that? To answer the question of why many African countries have straight lines is not defined by one simple answer but encompasses a lot of complicated elements. Usually, what countries use to draw borders and separate each other are often natural features such as rivers or mountains. For instance, the Oder River separates Germany from Poland, and the Pyrenees Mountains divide Spain and France. But what went wrong with Africa? To understand this, we need to go back in time to the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885. What happened then provides a much better understanding of why Africa looks the way it does. Powerful representatives of European powers gathered in Berlin, Germany, with a map of Africa laid before them. Astonishingly, not a single African leader was present at this conference that would shape the continent's destiny. The primary focus? Dividing Africa among themselves like slices of a pie, without much regard for the complex ethnic groups, cultures, or geographical realities. As a result, these European powers carved up Africa into territories that didn't align with natural boundaries or the centuries-old connections between communities. The borders they drew were often straight lines, slicing through mountains, rivers, and deserts with little thought for the people who lived there. Why did European powers create these borders that disregarded the cultural, ethnic, and geographical diversity of Africa? The answer lies in their self-serving interests. European colonizers aimed to maximize their control and resources while minimizing potential resistance. By drawing lines that ignored the natural distribution of people and resources, colonial powers hoped to create weak and divided nations. These fragmented entities would be easier to manipulate and exploit. In other words, the straight borders were not accidental, they were a deliberate strategy to maintain colonial dominance. Take the case of the straight borders seen in Namibia, Botswana, Eritrea, and other countries. These aren't just coincidences. They're the direct outcome of colonial strategies aimed at preserving power and resource extraction. While the colonizers might have left the continent, the legacy of their calculated borders persists, leaving African nations to grapple with the challenges and complexities of their imposed divisions. The straight borders weren't solely created by colonial powers. Africa's natural landscape also plays a role in why these borders are so straight. The Sahara Desert is a great example. Covering an astonishing area of approximately 9.2 million square kilometers, or around 3.6 million square miles, the Sahara Desert is the world's largest hot desert. It stretches across North Africa, spanning from the Atlantic Ocean in the west to the Red Sea in the east, and from the Mediterranean Sea in the north to the Sahel region in the south. The Sahara is known for its extreme climate. It experiences scorching temperatures during the day, which can soar above 50 degrees Celsius, or around 122 degrees Fahrenheit, and during the night, the temperature drops significantly due to the low moisture in the air. But how does the Sahara Desert contribute to the straight borders in Africa? Deserts, in general, often lack prominent geographic features like rivers or forests, making navigation and surveying a great challenge. Therefore, drawing a straight-line border can simplify the process of defining a border, reducing the need for precise measurement. Not only that, but mapping in desert regions can be resource-intensive, significantly reducing costs. Although this video may make it seem like all countries in Africa have straight borders for some strange reason, well, that's not the case. Some countries in Africa also have unique borders, similar to Europe or other parts of the world. The Senegal River is certainly a great example, marking the border between Senegal and Mauritania. Spanning a length of approximately 1,790 kilometers, or 1,112 miles, the Senegal River flows through parts of West Africa. Now that we understand why many African countries have straight borders, you might start to wonder if it even matters and how it affects the people. One long-lasting result of straight borders in Africa is that they have divided ethnic and cultural communities. Communities that once shared common histories, languages, and traditions found themselves separated by these borders. As a result, people belonging to the same ethnic group were divided into multiple countries, while others from different groups were grouped together within the same nation. Straight borders have contributed to ethnic tensions and conflicts that continue to challenge stability in many African nations. Sudan and Egypt are two countries that continuously fight over the Halaib Triangle, a place located in the Red Sea region, bordered by Sudan to the south and Egypt to the north. Both Sudan and Egypt claim sovereignty over the Halaib Triangle, covering an area of about 20,580 square kilometers or 7,950 square miles. One significant driver of this conflict is the region's natural resources. The Halaib Triangle is believed to be rich in minerals, including gold and other valuable minerals. Additionally, its strategic importance due to its location along the Red Sea coast has economic and military consequences for both countries. The local communities in the Halaib Triangle have strong cultural and historical ties with Sudan. The Strait colonial border placed the Halaib Triangle under Egyptian administration, leading to tensions in the region. Communities that were historically peaceful neighbors now find themselves on opposing sides of these borders due to the strait borders decided by the colonial powers. If the majority of strait borders were initially drawn by colonial powers in the past, what prevents countries from reverting to their historical boundaries? Over time, some of these strait borders have become recognized internationally as the legitimate boundaries of sovereign states. Changing them would require the cooperation of multiple countries, as well as international recognition. Additionally, changing these borders might worsen conflicts, as some borders were set to encompass important resources like minerals or resource-rich land. Altering these borders might lead to questions about resource ownership and fair distribution. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. See you in the next one.